Let's hear you, Los Angeles. Will it be Canelo or will it be Jacobs?
Eye on that. And lastly, I'd just like to get your thoughts on the fight that just got recently announced this week between Canelo and Daniel Jacobs.
Now we fighting, you heard me? Now we fighting. That's what boxing's supposed to be about. Danny Jacobs versus Canelo Alvarez. That's a real boxing fan's dream. That's the kind of stuff I lay home at night and say, if they keep doing like that, I don't need to come back. Because them the kind of fights I can sit down and watch and be like, yes, I'm good with that.
Well, I see you're very animated for that, but who has the advantage coming in?
Actually, to me, nobody has the advantage. Because Danny was already a middleweight first. Canelo moving up to middleweight. Danny longer with quicker hand speed. And they both got good power. But Danny's arms are longer. So Danny got the distance thing, but Canelo's a great counterpuncher. So he's gonna cover distance well. So it's like it's the boxer versus the counterpuncher, which is usually produces one of the best fights ever. I can't wait to see who wins.
Moving up, moving down back to 160 and taking on Jacobs.
Oh, I didn't.
Were you surprised that he came down to 160? Canelo Jacobs, were you surprised to move down to 160?
Yeah, I knew the fight was made, but I didn't even think about the weight.
Yeah, 160.
I'm never a fan of guys moving up and moving down, but I mean, Canelo and his team have been smart all these years, so I assume that if he's doing that, he knows what he's doing, he knows his body. I don't think he would gamble like that because he's the A side, so he doesn't have to take an unnecessary risk. So I assume he's going to be okay.
So would you see Canelo being the favorite against that fight?
I'm going to go with my boy, man. I'm going with Danny Jacobs. You know, I like Canelo. I've always supported Canelo, but I'm a Danny Jacobs fan. The Miracle Man, baby.
Thank you.
As Gennady mentioned before, Canelo's got a tough fight coming up with Danny Jacobs. We have a fight in June, so we both have to get through that fight. If Gennady's not so much after the belts, but after the big fights, let's just say Danny Jacobs wins. Canelo's still in the forefront for us. It's not the belts, it's the fights that the people want to see and the fights that entice him and the fights that motivate him to go to the gym.
I know that you are able to break down fights beautifully. If I can just get your thoughts on what you expect to see between Canelo and Jacobs.
I think Canelo wins. I think Canelo's a better boxer. I think Canelo is a lot more skilled, but I think the pressure is going to be on Canelo to perform and to beat Danny Jacobs a lot easier, let's just say, than Gennady did. So that pressure will make him make mistakes, and I think Danny will be in the fight, but Canelo should win.
Having faced both Canelo and Jacobs in the past, what are those things that each of them have to watch out for?
Well, first of all, they're fighting in the consolation bracket. They're fighting for Gennady's belts. They both lost to Gennady. I think that Jacobs has to press Canelo. Jacobs has to make sure that he finds an opening with Canelo and use his size and use his athletic ability. Canelo just needs to be patient. Again, the pressure is on Canelo, but Canelo needs to be patient. He's an excellent boxer, great hand speed, and if he catches you, he's going to hurt you. So don't be surprised if Canelo catches Jacobs with a good shot and drops him like Gennady did, because Jacobs will have to make those has to try to make the fight, and if he makes that, then he make mistakes, and Canelo will catch him.
Living legend, Ray Leonard. Sugar, it's great to talk to you once again. We're very excited for this mega fight between Canelo and versus Daniel Jacobs. I'd like to get your thoughts on what you think about this fight.
Well, you know, on my way from home, coming here, I called a lot of my friends, and I said, "Who do you like? Who do you like?" And they all say Canelo. But it's not going to be that easy with Jacobs, who's an incredible fighter, tough champion. This is a fight that boxing is going to give boxing another shot of adrenaline. This is one of those big fights, highly anticipated fights, matchups. It depends on who is on top of their game.
I mean, it's the best versus the best. How do you break down this fight?
Well, you know, you try to say, well, who's faster or who's stronger or who can take a better punch, who has better footwork, who uses his power or speed to his advantage. It's like a chess game. It's like, you play chess?
No,
I don't play chess, but I know about it. Yeah, but I feel it's going to be a great fight.
Moments ago, Oscar De La Hoya said, Canelo has experience and Daniel Jacobs has some experience as well, but he has that determination, beating cancer. How much, as a fighter, how much does that play into effect on fight night?
Well, it depends upon his character. I mean, for Jacobs to beat the toughest opponent in the world, which is cancer, that says a lot about his character, of who he is and what he feels. I think this fight, the winner's going to be, it's dependent upon who starts off first, initiates, control the tempo, and maintain.
Well, now both fighters are saying that they both want the knockout. Do you see the possibility of this fight ending in a knockout that night?
Without being able to predict things, could it happen? Yes, it could happen. Will it happen? We'll see. And that's what makes us want to, can't wait, we can't wait, because it's so highly anticipated, because it's going to be, put it this way, it's going to be a tough fight for both fighters.
If you're on Canelo's corner during the fight, what would you tell him to do?
Be Canelo. Be Canelo, take charge, and take advantage of every opportunity. And with Jacobs, same thing. I'll tell him the same thing. Be first, stay on top of him, and be smart.
Champ, thank you so much for your words. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Golovkin, Canelo, and Jacobs. Would you be interested in facing the winner? And are you kind of inclined into seeing Canelo win so you can have that third fight with him?
I want everybody, and Daniel and Canelo and who somebody stay, just because it is an interesting fight to people, to fans, just. I want to stay in boxing the same level. It's good level. It's maybe first class.
Another mega fight, Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs. That's a big mega fight from May 4th.
I love, Canelo. He's a great fighter. I also love, Danny Jacobs. For me, I think it's great. I like Danny Jacobs in the fight. I think he's a taller, more rangier guy. I get it. Canelo's a beast. I get it. He beat Triple G, but I like Danny Jacobs. I like his boxing ability. I like his speed. I think that he can make things difficult with his legs and also his hand speed and his decent power against Canelo.
Do you feel that Daniel Jacobs beat Triple G, or did Triple G win that fight?
It was a close fight. It was a close fight, but Triple G got the knockdown, early on, and I think that was the deciding factor of the fight. But I loved how Danny Jacobs was able to get up and and show some grit and bounce back in that fight and come back and lose to a close decision.
Your prediction for the Canelo Jacobs?
Like I told you, I'm a fan of Jacobs. This is one of them fights where I'm rooting for my guy. You know what I mean? Stylistically, I don't know if it's a good fight or not, but I'm rooting for my guy. I think Danny Jacobs has enough in the toolbox to be able to win.
Last question. On your hometown of Las Vegas, Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs will be taking place on May 4th. How do you see that fight, champ?
That fight is a fight that is difficult to really explain, because anything can happen in that fight. Daniel Jacobs is a fight that's equally as talented as Canelo Alvarez. He is a great boxer, and I'm talking about Daniel Jacobs. He's a great boxer. He has the amateur pedigree to surprise the fight fans and to surprise Canelo and coming out with the victory. But Canelo has the mental fortitude. He has the experience. When it comes to experience, I say Canelo has the edge there, just because of his level of opposition. But it's a tough one. That's really a tough one to really dissect and to figure out who's going to come out the winner, just because of both of their backgrounds. They both have a lot to offer, and it's just about who's going to be able to adapt better in the ring. The first 4 rounds are going to be very interesting. I think they're going to be it's going to be a patient 4 rounds, 3-4 rounds. And then after that, whoever takes the lead will just generate momentum, and he won't stop.
All right, so if you can't tell me who is expected to win, in your opinion, how does each fighter win? What do they have to do?
In order for Daniel Jacobs to win, he needs to maintain distance. He needs to stay on the outside, not really fight on the inside, because the inside fighter is Canelo Alvarez. He's a great inside fighter. Even though he didn't like to do it before, he's becoming more comfortable with fighting on the inside now. He'll tear down. It sounds bad, but he has the advantage of fighting Daniel Jacobs in the inside. That will be an issue for Canelo Alvarez. That will be an issue for Daniel Jacobs. But Daniel Jacobs, like I said, he needs to maintain the outside. He needs to stay explosive, maintain his speed. Not to have high volume of punches, but just short combinations, but the velocity is what it's going to be about. So that's what Daniel Jacobs has to do. And for Canelo, he just has to pick the right moments, pick the right spots, counter punch Daniel Jacobs every time he can catch him. When he has him cornered in one of the corners, of course, just to land the body shots and try and tear him apart then and there, bit by bit, piece by piece, until a 7th, 8th, 9th round comes in. Then Daniel Jacobs should be able to bring his energy down a bit, and then that's how he can capitalize. That's how I see it. I mean, for either guy, that's the way that the best case scenario for both guys.
Well, we'll see what happens. Jesse, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. We look forward to seeing when you're